Hello and welcome to another episode of Alan Outlines. We're working on the Truest cross. I've had some interesting ideas, and this is Christmas Day where I'm recording this, so we're going to go with it. Variations on a theme. The knight isn't who guarded it. Cross. Time, but his wife. She's much as he is longevic and capable, but with let's say she, but more of a people person, but not like Miss Black. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to jettison Miss Black at some point. I usually do. She is, like I said, a stand-in character for somebody I need to have wide range of capabilities and to be available in a number of different guises. And as the story condenses, her character will shape itself into different patterns, and I'll use those patterns to construct a new character. That will not be Miss Black, but will be the titular third party in this affair. All right, more of a people person. Okay, let's do this correctly. As devout, perhaps more savvy. And perhaps more savvy. But less to aggression. Let's go. She's just as dangerous, but more slow to anger. Okay. I really don't know who she is yet. We're working on that. All right. The son is the guardian. His father and mother wandered off. He remained devout, studying what came across his way. Still a scholar and a scientist, meaning acquisition of knowledge. As such, he better adapts to the modern world and all its joys. Wikipedia. Books on demand. Library of Alexandria in the palm of his hand. All right. This is also an exercise that lets us try to figure out the other characters. Less capable in combat, but a fast learner. Too trusting sometimes, but also a fast learner. All right. In many ways, the son would be the interesting one as well. All right, but the wife would be takes her vows seriously. She's the caretaker. Not dentist, though knowledge is important. The knowledge is important. Can't be the primary importance, though, or your views, your life gets screwed. See her son. Works well with others. Manipulative, charismatic. Okay. So actually, I like that. I like that. She's a leader, not a follower, and this will bring her into conflict with other parties. Okay. All right. The daughter went forth and had progeny. Hey, maybe she's Miss Black analog. You know, that's an interesting point. Miss Black might essentially be the daughter who's gone out into the world to found a family, and she's managed it. Children are our future, all of them, even the terrible ones. You can play favorites, but that rarely settles things. Backlash is inevitable. Okay. Take time for all of them. All right. She can choose the traits of her sons and daughters. Physical, mental. Special. Includes odd powers, etc. The integration of all of these is brought about by their upbringing. Okay. Longevity, but little else. She would not make a good primary character. This is, I think, our Miss Black. Yeah. Extremely good at reading people. Empathic ability. No, just careful observation and practice. Sometimes she gets things wrong. Longevity, some ability to change herself. Over time. Skin is easy. If she's going to change something, skin is easy. Bone is hard, etc. Okay, this allows her to be other people if we feel like the story needs it. And again, she might keep this. slow regeneration. Has lived hundreds of years. Keeps her from running into herself as time goes on. Doesn't trust easily. The first few betrayals are the hardest. Other powers. Okay, so she is essentially our Miss Black analog. Does the knight or main character recognize her? No, she's just that good. But suspicions stay. And okay. Access to fortunes. She'll of course be able to buy money, buys a lot of things. Or rather, rents it. You can only keep what you fight for. Be it things or people. Also nations and other social constructs. Okay. Children as her hands in the world. Rarely risks herself. Hundreds of years gone in a single accident. Could she survive a plane crash? Maybe. But are you really going to want to risk that? She is essentially risk averse. That's a good risk adverse. Cautious plans. Cautious plans and what is it? Secondary plans. Contingencies. Okay. So this is our Miss Black analog. Yep, she is. And she may change as time goes on. Not telepathic. The Lost Daughter. Okay, so let's take the Lost Daughter. who left the enclave hundreds of years ago. Playing the deep game. She's playing the deep game, which is my way of saying I don't understand all what she's going to do, or the plot is going to take her. It's a good idea to have an idea of where these things go, but as you write it, things will take on a life of their own. That's right, she's the Grail. Yeah, she's the Grail equivalent, and if you know the mythology surrounding that, that's and some of the conspiracy theories too. Much depends on the person, and people don't always do what they're supposed to. Hint. Let's remove the yeah, I'm still not sure about this. There's a lot of back and forth that might be done, and some of it might be pretty grim. For example, the wife faking her own death would be tragic in a way. She's trying to do the right thing, but she's doing it in the wrong method. All right. So who else? Who else? I need a longevic in there to explain the background of things. The alternative is to not have that. Have it be a science forum. All the scientists studying the cross, Truest cross, and trying to come to terms with the implications. This would be a movie. Be a movie, not a TV series. So if we were going to do a movie, we would do it from the scientist perspective, where they're given access to this artifact, they're asked to study it, they have to deal with the implications, and sometimes people show up. People who know a lot more than they do, or at least know the history, and have been affected by the cross. It shifts the focus, and I'm fine with that. Again, if it's a movie, different focus. You can still bring in the knight, the wife, and everybody else, but the scientific method and consensus and eventual consensus is troublesome with this new discovery. It always is. Whenever anybody discovers something new, it changes paradigms and ways people think. Virus theory being one of those. I guess quantum theory isn't so radical. Well, electron theory certainly was, because you could use it for things. Um, but when it first came out, it's a thing, it's a theory, and it doesn't have any applications because it's just a theory. But if it works well enough and stable enough, then you can make something of it. The engineers can get their turn. And there you go. There you go. It's not bad. It's not bad. Okay. So, locations. The lab. Secret. Must be kept secret. University building. Lots of people in and out. Lots of odd equipment purchased. Personnel transfers. Some bureaucracy that they can't get around. And that's important for story purposes. It's going to take, if it's located on a campus, then there's all sorts of freedoms and possibilities, but also some drawbacks. Some student issues, politics of the board. I like that. I like that it's in a university building. Has to run a lot of tests in-house. Can send for some results, but have to know those might go public or be disseminated. Always a risk, but you want to know more. Run tests outside of house, special missions, take control of an electron microscope. For example. I'm not sure how common electron microscopes are these days. I know they exist. Probably a university has one. And keep prying eyes away. Shenanigans. Again, this leads to story possibilities where they're trying to do X, but they have Y constraints, and so they have to, go interact with a university environment and everything else. Funded. Dark money. Question mark. Because I don't. The thing is, if they're scraping for dollars, not unlimited funds. Sometimes they have to cut corners. Brief theft. Blackmail for a good cause. Diverting resources. All right, so that's the lab for you. Right now I only have 2 locations. The lab and his apartment. Now technically the lab has a lot of things. It has its own offices. It has its own various things within the lab itself. The lab concept will be the main one, and then it's the main character's apartment and apartment block. Get to see him interact with others, their stories. B stories to be certain. That's the kind of, you've got your A story, which is the one that's driving it, which is whatever involves the cross, and you've got B stories, which involve the people that are involved in the project, which can include people in the apartment complex and everything else. And we're going to interweave those. All walks of life. Rent controls. And I'm just going to leave it at that because I want to be able to put in people that, might not be able to afford an apartment in that kind of apartment complex to be able to do it. So they're going to be rent controls. Yeah. That works fine. So other places. A favorite restaurant. I spelled it correctly. Yay, I have some trouble with spelling restaurant, historically speaking. A favorite restaurant. Favorite bar. Something that has weapon-free. Society for creative anachronisms. Analog. Weaponry, old style, training courses, off the grid stuff. Yeah, I'm fine with that. It doesn't feel like it's perfect, but it may serve for now. All right, so it's off the grid stuff. To modern with ranges, maybe an all-inclusive combat academy. Diverse people. Branch locations. Okay. This is all within a city, and now I'm going to need something rural. We're going to call it the farm. Pastoral. Hardworking. Traditional. Where they go to get away from it all, back to the roots. And this again, different people, different skills. All right. So let's think about this. Where do we want to go from here? What would be another location? I think that's enough for now. I mean, there'll be other locations based on the story that they're pursuing. Hospital, of course, hospital. Repeat customers. Secrets of longevity. What else? Radical treatments. diverse characters from around the world. I mean, we can have diverse characters from around the world anyway, but it makes more sense in a hospital where people do internships or just simply practice medicine far from home. The problem of knowledge and them knowing much. The doctors are at risk. Yes, they'll have to explain how surgeons and sawbones became doctors by title. Slow transformation. Okay, but that's more of our outline, and I like where it's going. It's going to go somewhere. If I'm really eating my Wheaties, I know I've got pretty much the first episode marked out, but the second and third and fourth are another trick, because it's not just you're trying to do a couple episodes. You want to introduce the viewer to new stuff every time, but not overwhelm them. And it's we've got to work about your rhythm and your pacing so that it's not too much. See also Firefly, where they decided to make the second episode of it, the train heist, into the first episode, and then realized that the first episode was just fine. And when I say they, I mean corporate. Whedon certainly knew what he was doing with pacing. All right, so that is the Truest Cross. I hope you've enjoyed this little Christmas morning exploration and outlining of an idea that I had from a dream. And there we go. But stay safe and take care out there, all right? Thanks.